Hello, I'm Bart Dessart, part of the AWI Extension SA team. In this video today we're going to hear from Mark Ferguson of neXtgen Agri about how producers can use eID data to gain productive outcomes.
There's four key roles that we see that eID can play in farming businesses. Obviously, one of the things that we think about is helping you make genetic gain, and so that's when we start using data to make those selection decisions. Helping you manage the individuals within the mob, so obviously we run them in mobs, but with eID we can obviously understand what those individuals are up to within that mob, rather than just looking at the mob itself. It also allows flexibility of labour, so I guess some skills in sheep production often need someone that knows what they're up to, maybe condition scoring, that sort of stuff, whereas with eID and weighing and that sort of thing, we can actually use semi-skilled labour to get that job done. So it allows new people into that business that might not be able to be used before. And then finally, I guess the reason that it's been brought into being in a large sense is because we have concerns about those biosecurity issues. So that's the sort of, I guess, the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff, but that's obviously an important thing that, why we're considering eID, or why eID is becoming legislated. The real power of eID is connecting different time points. So being able to put some data we collect today with some new data we put in a few months' time. So maybe it's a weaning weight today, and then that lamb we can weigh later on, and we can put that weight gain together. But then as we get better in our production systems, we actually start bringing lots of different time points together, which is kind of the real power of eID. Otherwise, obviously we can just read tags or whatever. We don't actually need to connect those data points. The other real value is understanding the management of your own sheep, understanding what's going on within that mob. We often read scientific papers or articles in newspapers about what's valuable or what impacts on your production, but until you see it in your own sheep, often you don't actually value that as much. So we're seeing that as a really valuable part of using eID or introducing eID into production systems. It's really, really important when you're getting into eID to have a plan. So it's really critical that rather than just launch in and buy all the gear that you can get, or go to a field day and see something shiny and grab it and buy it, it's really important that you actually think about what it is that you're actually going to improve in your business. And so often it's about starting really with the basics. What is it that you want to change in your business? What's the low-hanging fruit in your business? What would you really like to improve most? And then think about what is the data that you might need to help you make that decision. So what's the key bit of information that would enable you to make an informed decision about that thing that you want to change? And that's where you should start with a plan. It's really, if you don't have a clear sort of action in place or a plan in place, it's really easy to start collecting heaps of information, spend lots of time, and then get frustrated because you're not actually using all that information. The key thing is to start small and to start cheap. Start with a low investment in the right gear. So that might be just an eID reader, and get those tags in those lambs. Start collecting little bits of information, and to really get that plan in place before you just launch into heaps of expensive gear or expensive data to collect. So I think in summary, it's about having a plan and sitting down and working out what that is. That'll be specific to your enterprise because everyone's got different focuses. So sit down, write that little plan out. There's some great tools available from the team that you'll have access to. Grab those data plans, fill one out, and focus in on what you want to improve. Then find the bit of gear that most suits what you need to get done. So it might be a set of scales, or it might be a wand, and you just grab the simple bit of kit that you need to get that done. And then start small, start collecting that information. Don't write down 10 different things you're going to start to collect. Write down the 2 or 3 things that you're going to start to collect. And obviously, importantly, allocate the person who's actually going to do that, whether that's you or someone else on farm that's actually going to be the person responsible for that. Without a name written against that plan, it may not happen. But then, yeah, get in there and really just start to really interrogate your own production systems. Enjoy the data and really enjoy the ride, I guess, of starting to really learn what's going on in your production system in more depth than you have previously.
Thanks Mark for sharing your experience and professional knowledge in using eID to improve productivity and profitability. This 10-minute talk was made possible by Australian Wool Innovation, the Department of Primary Industries and Regions SA, and the South Australian Sheep Industry Fund.